You're listening to Whispers of War.
Hello everyone and welcome to Whispers of War, show number 12. I'm your host Sil, and it's going to be a very long show today. I'm going to give you some warnings and disclaimers, all that kind of jazz. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting one and a fun one, I'd like to think. Something that wasn't that much fun for me this week, and that will put me right into the whole, disclaimer and warning thing. So my computer died on me again. I don't know what's going on, and before people ask, I know this is going to be a little bit tech related, but I kind of need your help, because I know some of you who listen to this are really tech savvy, and maybe you are able to help me with this, because I'm kind of at a loss. So basically what happened was that my computer started to run really slow. And I thought, okay, maybe it just needs a bit of, defragging or just cleaning up a file. So I did all of that, had no improvement. Then I checked when this happened and basically saw that Windows did one of its famous updates and just installed it itself. So, okay, no problem. I would just, remove that update and see what happens. And actually, it worked. I also made a restore point and thought, just in case it would do it again, I can get rid of it. And then Windows actually has a blocking tool to make sure that you don't get that update anymore. So I did all of that. And then all of a sudden, after a night of playing and it was all fine in World of Warcraft, the next day it did it again. And I didn't know what it was. I got really frustrated. And in the end, I just completely wiped my entire drive and just thought, well, starting fresh, new Windows installation. Yeah, okay, I'll probably get that update, but we'll see what happens. I actually only installed my graphics driver that came with the card. And for those who don't know, my card is not that old. It's only like a year old and it's quite intense, as is the rest of my system. So it's not, I'm almost 100% certain it's not the graphics card, it's not anything else, because when I start to play World of Warcraft, or when my computer boots and I immediately put on World of Warcraft, for the first 5 minutes, it's perfect. I have no lag spikes, because you can actually see that the frames drop from 8 to 30 to 12 to 4. It just goes, it's all over the place. So it's very choppy and, it's horrible to play with. But I don't just get it with that. It's with anything I try to do. So if I open one program, yeah, maybe it will work. If I use another thing, like if I would open my Word, bam, immediately I get issues with it being slow and choppy and everything takes a lot of time. And I've run the troubleshooter that Windows has with everything that I do. So all the Windows 10, great, but Windows 10 has all these different components. I keep running it. It doesn't come up with any errors. Now, I'm hoping that it might just be something very, very simple. Maybe you guys go, oh, so you need to do this. This is definitely what's wrong. And I can fix it. But at the moment, I am just so stuck because I can't even do, interviews properly anymore. Because my computer is having such a hard time with coping everything. I'm not even sure if it will record this section of the show now properly that I'm doing just by myself. So yeah, it's taking the fun out of being on my computer, and that's a shame because I love doing stuff on my PC. So I'm hoping that you guys can help me. Just for reference, so I have a GeForce NVIDIA card. It's a GTX 1070 FTW. So it's not that old. I have an i7, I believe. The motherboard is a little bit old, so maybe that's it. Maybe it's the cooling, what is it, the thermal paste? I'm not entirely sure. I don't think my computer's overheating, but maybe it should be cleaned out, properly. I mean, I can't see much dust, but I can see a bit of dust. Do you guys think that might be the issue? That it just needs a good clean out? I don't know. Or maybe you guys are like, no, it's definitely maybe this program that you might be running. like I said, I'm running Windows 10, and I'm really starting to get fed up with this now. I don't know what to do anymore. After so many reinstalls, at a certain point it kind of ends, doesn't it? So, yeah, I hope that you guys can help me with this, because that also had a little bit of an influence on the interview, and I didn't want to not post it, but I am going to warn you. There are some times when the sound drops. I've tried everything in my power that I could to fix most of it, but this is the best I could get it. And you can still, but if you sometimes are like, what was that? What was it said? That's not you. That is the recording. And unfortunately, it must be my computer and the connection that I had, because it just didn't want to record it properly from my side. So I do apologize for that, but I'm hoping that, you know, it might only be like 10% now and again from the entire interview that took about 2 hours. So I'm hoping that, you know, you will forgive me for that. And also, I had the most amazing guests on, Taliesin and Evitel, who I've spoken to 2 years ago, when they said that they had 1,000 subscribers, and they've grown so much. They are wonderful people, and I had such a blast talking to them. So I hope that it won't deter you from listening to the interview. And then after it, I'll come back, and hopefully, you know, we'll continue. I'm hoping that my computer hasn't died, so enjoy. And with me today, I'm being joined by two, I'm going to say celebrities, even though they might not like that. Taliesin and Evitel. And I didn't mess up your name this time.
That's good, because otherwise we'd be off.
Exactly.
We've got
We've been like, who's that?
We've got our rider. We've got our M&Ms with all the blue ones taken. No, only blue ones.
Yes.
Only blue ones and puppies and things like that. Which is how we insist on having it. And also, instead of celebrities, could you call us superstars? Is that all right?
Superstars. I think I can do that. That shouldn't be an issue.
Or actually, megastars.
Megastars. Okay, I think I've already written down some things for like the title of the show.
Or legends, actually. If you
living legends.
The living legends Taliesin. Now, you have to re-record the intro again. Don't worry, it's fine. But maybe just edit it later on. I don't know, whatever. It's cool. I'm not bothered. Just living legends would be
living
great.
legend. Okay, noted down.
Hang on. I just want to, before anything else, like, we need to make it clear that was a joke to your listeners, because automatically they're going to think we're dicks. We haven't started.
No, that was a real joke.
Well, it's because you know what people are like, right? They always think that you're serious about everything that you say on a podcast or a video or. So, Taliesin and Evitel, for the people who do not know who you are, I think they should be in the naughty corner, really. Can you tell the interwebs who you are?
Yeah, well, we are Taliesin and Evitel. I'm Evitel.
I'm Taliesin.
And we
process of elimination.
We make videos about World of Warcraft on YouTube. World of Warcraft and Overwatch. I have to add Overwatch.
Yeah, we did do an Overwatch once.
One Overwatch
before
video.
The first time that we spoke to you 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, it went down very, very well. And it was probably the best video we've ever done.
I think it's because we just can't possibly top that one.
Yeah,
we're not going to do any others.
We decided to quit Overwatch while we were winning, and decided to leave instead. So yeah, we've been going for about 2 years now, and that's about it, really.
Yeah,
we've got a show called The Weekly Reset, which is a weekly news show, and we do other kind of like essay videos and jokey things. And, we don't take it all that seriously, to be honest.
No.
We should probably take it a bit more seriously.
Probably. We run a very, very serious Twitter account. Where there are no memes or jokes.
We try to block them.
Yeah.
Because we're not having that. That's not what it's for.
This is basically also how your YouTube channel is, and I absolutely adore it. I love watching it because it always cheers up my mood.
Oh,
splendid! Not that you're ever sad though.
No.
Except when the PC died.
I'm going to do some world quests.
Oh, God.
That's going to. I fancy opening my weekly chest. That'll make me feel good.
That will make me feel so much better.
Oh, I feel amazing now. Look at this ring. This ring is brilliant.
Even just thinking about that makes me feel good.
Yeah, totally. In fact, I might even just go and do that right now. I didn't have a chest open this week, so.
Really? Why?
What I did, I had a PvP chest, but I didn't have a mythic weekly chest to open.
Naughty.
Because I've been doing 3s. That's what I've been doing most of, because I want my fat hippo mount.
Taliesin has become obsessed with doing PvP and doing 3s. It's like you go into our guild chat and everyone's just like, "Hey, you want to do some 3s?" Like it's some like doing some like really illicit drug. They're like, "Hey, man, I'm feeling the 3s."
Yeah, and I'm like, who's up for some 3s? Who's up for some 3s? And you get some random scrubs in our guild. They're like, I'm up for some 3s, Tally. I'm like, yeah, what's your rating, mate?
I'm not allowed to do 3s. I'm not allowed to do 3s.
Don't lie to the world. It's one thing you lie to our guild, but don't lie to the world. That's not true, Sil. She's allowed to join our 3s anytime she wants, as soon as she gets her rating up.
I thought that, when you're the wife off, do you have enough rating there?
Yeah. That's a separate
okay.
rating going on.
Fair enough. Right, so you guys are very, very good at your YouTube videos. That's, I know people have their taste, but I think with the subscriber amounts, I think a lot of people have it right by subscribing to you guys. Completely different, because I know, but I think the listeners who don't know you need to know. Are you guys Horde or Alliance?
Okay, well, I just because I'm a Warcraft pro, okay, like the thing is, I am like a professional World of Warcraft player, so obviously I play both sides, as it were, of kind of equal amounts. But generally, and actually, this is a really good expansion to have been doing that as well, because you've got like the different Horde and Alliance storylines and things, and like incredibly different experiences, leveling wise, and kind of at max level as well. And that's only going to get even more so with it's not a spoiler to talk about the raid from 8.1 without mentioning any story or anything, because everyone knows it's like a cross-faction raid, and the Horde will have a different experience to Alliance and things like that. And so I think this is a really good expansion to be playing both factions. But when it comes down to it, my first ever main character was Alliance, and so if I had to choose one, plus Jaina's on the Alliance as well, which kind of.
Jaina.
Whereas Evitel.
I am exactly like you. No, I'm mostly Alliance. I'm pretty much solidly Alliance right now, except for about a level 20 Nightborn mage.
Okay.
Yeah. Every time Evitel starts playing Horde, it lasts about maybe a day or so, and then there'll just be this coming from like the other side of the room, and I'm like, what's the matter, Evitel? What's wrong?
Noise?
What's wrong? And you're like, I just fucking hate Ogrimmar.
I know.
It's too spiky.
It's just not my style.
I don't like it. Even though I'm a cool, like, silky Nightborn.
Yeah, now, if the Horde capital city was Suramar, now that would be a different story for me. I do.
So it's not shallow at all, basically,
No.
your choice. It's very deep, very meaningful, basically about how curvy the buildings are.
Exactly.
Can I just warn you, because I know that you guys play on the same server as me, don't go to Silver Moon. I'm just saying, don't go to Silver Moon.
It's kind of empty, to be honest. It's like, am I missing something? They're all like packed into some room
I
somewhere.
think you're missing certain inns and certain times to be in Silver Moon.
Oh, I've been very lucky then,
Yeah.
it sounds.
Well, maybe
yeah.
I'll pop on over on my level 5 Blood Elf Hunter.
That
which I
might
haven't
be
touched.
enough to sway Evitel, actually, onto the Horde.
Especially running around naked. I'm sure that you will find some people who want to RP with you, and don't worry about that.
Yeah, all you've got, just like real life, all you have to do is wander around naked.
Yeah.
And you'll get some people talking to you.
Exactly. Okay, I think that's fair enough. That's fair enough. Even though you have a fair fondness of Zappy Boy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Zappy Boy could sway me towards the Horde.
And when Zappy Boy takes his rightful place as Horde War Chief, then which I think is guaranteed to happen. This isn't a spoiler either, but I did just get a message from someone who works at Wowhead saying, "Just dated man, some excellent Zappy Boy stuff."
That's
by the way. As we speak, it's not even on the site yet, but it will be obviously by the time the show comes out. So yeah, he's awesome. He's amazing. Like right from the very first kind of opening sort of cinematic for Battle for Azeroth, when the world began, and I know it's like a meme that everyone loves Zappy Boy, but they love him for a reason because he's brilliant.
Yeah.
Like, he was easily the coolest thing in that trailer.
He's so cool.
Sort of.
Well,
he's like the third coolest thing in that trailer.
He's pretty cool. And I have a big soft spot for Sourfang as well, so...
But then that cinematic, which must have been made, like the old soldier cinematic, must have been made at the same time as the opening cinematic.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just by chance that he took off as like this internet kind of joke sort of meme, and then it just so happened that they'd actually created this genuine character with like a great voice and like awesome lines and like meaningful impact on the story and stuff. Yeah, he's great. He's like one of the most successful new WoW characters, you know, because I love...
Yeah, absolutely.
Her, and not just because her name is Tay, which is what people call us. She's really cool. I like Flynn. I like Princess Talanji. There are loads of new characters that I really like in WoW at the moment. And Zappy Boy, Zakan, he's right up there. He's great. He's got a great voice actor as well. Really cool.
I think the voice acting in this expansion has been absolutely amazing because I think being a bit biased, I love Bonsandi and just the voice actor is amazing.
Oh, yes. So good.
Yeah,
like
he's brilliant.
Yeah, that's some of the like the Bonsandi scenes, and that scene where he like makes the deal with Rastakhan, that cinematic, that's like one of the best bits of voice acting in the game ever.
Yeah,
it's so good.
Yeah,
and I can't even like do it because I'll sound wrong. I can't. You and me, Evitel, we can't do Bonsandi impressions. It's not right. It's not allowed.
And
that breaks my heart because I'd love to. If I could, I'd spend my entire life doing Bonsandi impressions. It'd be amazing. But no, yeah, it's so good. And the more we get of him, the better. Yes, please.
Yeah, absolutely. That will be interesting in the patches to come. Now, I remember slight stories from our previous interview, but all I remember is something with old ladies and cats. But I don't know if this goes back to the whole how did you start your love for World of Warcraft. Am I correct in thinking it involved older ladies and cats?
So I can't remember anything that happened more than like a week ago. So that initial interview, I that was 2 years ago, and I think we were like celebrating 1,000 subs or something.
Was it the crazy cat lady? Was I going on about the cat lady in? Yeah,
sounds like the kind of thing you go on about.
Maybe
is that what made you fall in love with WoW?
Well, when you said old ladies and cats, I right away thought of like doing the human.
Oh no! Sil is talking about when I first started raiding.
Oh,
do you remember at the old flat? And I was getting because we both still had US accounts, even though we both lived in London.
Yes,
because we both played separately in the US for like years before we even met and started playing. And we both had US accounts. So I wanted to do some raiding, so I had to get up at about 3 a.m. in the morning so I could play on my American server and raid at normal raid time as everyone else. But even then, it was still a bit earlier than most of the guild were most normal people would raid. So I was raiding with a bunch of old ladies.
Oh, there we go.
Kind of sort of veterans on leave and things like that, and all over the world. And it was amazing, like some incredible people, like some really, really awesome people. But there was a thing where like it was old ladies at home playing, and they had to every now and then just leave in the middle of a pool so they could let their cat out and feed their cat, and I don't know, give their grandchild a word as original, stuff like that. It's stuff old people do. I say that, I'm pretty old myself.
See, I'm not going crazy. I remembered something with old ladies and cats.
Yeah,
I'm proud of us.
Me too. We solved the mystery. We're basically like Miss Marple.
But how did you actually start your love for World of Warcraft, the both of you?
Ooh, yeah. I remember, well, actually, I started loving World of Warcraft because of a different love. If you go all the way back to little old me in high school, there was a guy I was totally crushing on.
I hate this, by the way.
I know, but I was totally crushing on him. And, I added him to my AOL Instant Messenger, friends list. Even though we never actually talked, it was a little stalkery, but I would always check on his away messages. And I remember one day, yeah. But that was how young people communicated back then.
Yeah, through stalking,
through their AIM away messages. So I remember he would write about playing EverQuest, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna buy EverQuest. And I remember I started playing EverQuest, and I loved it. I thought it was the best thing ever. And I'd been playing video games and stuff since I was tiny, so it felt great. It felt good. And then when I found out about World of Warcraft, and that kind of like, that was like EverQuest on speed, basically, with like other people. And I only really started getting into it in college when I was really looking for a way to procrastinate from writing my final papers. And yeah, and I started playing it, and that was Cataclysm, End of Wrath. And yeah, and since then, it's just been this glorious journey. But yeah, that's how it started for me.
I started playing through Wrath of the Lich King, right at the very beginning of Wrath of the Lich King. Like so early on that I remember people had like their names above their heads with two different colors. Like it was blue or green, and I can't remember which one it was, but depending on which color your name was above your head, that signified whether you had bought Wrath of the Lich King or not. Because like I think Wrath of the Lich King had sold just under 3 million copies on day one, but 10 million people were subscribed to that game, which means on day one there were about 7 or 6 million people that were playing the game but hadn't bought the expansion. So like it was amazing, like, you know, there was a difference to be made. It wasn't like everyone just had the expansion. It was like, it was different in those days, you know? It was a more innocent time. You had to go to your shop and buy it and then install it, and that took about 3 days.
God, yeah.
So I started playing then, and it was kind of like I'd been to college, I'd been to drama school it was, and that my kind of video game playing days I kind of thought were behind me, because I went to like, we were all focused on what we were doing, and we thought like, you know, we were young and we had these bright futures and stuff, and I was like, I don't need video games, I don't need that stuff. I still played like, you know, the Warhammer 40,000 RTS, that was brilliant, but apart from that, no video games at all. And I just didn't for a couple of years, and then I moved into a flat where there was like a house, there was a shared Xbox, and I became obsessed with Oblivion, Elder Scrolls. I played the hell out of Oblivion, and that got me just back into video games, basically. And then I found myself living in America for a little while with nothing to do, and that's when I started playing WoW, because I was always like, God, Oblivion's really good. I love playing it. I love wandering around this amazing world. It'd be better if there were other people here too, like other people. And I always avoided WoW because, well, one, I had a subscription. Who wants to pay a subscription? Seriously. And also just like, I knew I would love it too much. I knew I'd get just drawn in, and that's exactly what happened. And it ruined my life. So,
yeah. And there's kind of a moment, because, you know, you kind of phase in and out of Warcraft. I think a lot of people do. Obviously, we're kind of in it forever now. But, you know, and when you're a student, you have no money. You can't really pay for a subscription at some points. I remember very vividly, I was in Poland for a little bit studying after I'd finished like my degree, and chatting with one of my housemates, and some, you know, talking about video games. And it was like, we somehow discovered that both of us had played World of Warcraft, but we're both a bit like embarrassed, but really excited to realize that we both had played it. And we hadn't touched it for a while. And, you know, it's that moment where you like find someone with a shared like random interest, and you're like, this is special. This is amazing. And I remember for Christmas, we were like coming out of class, and you just saw me in the hallway and like handed me this brown paper envelope with nothing on it, and was like, Merry Christmas. And then I opened it, and it was like the starter edition CD for Warcraft.
And a bag of crack.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was like, yes, thank you for enabling me.
Well, exactly. And I was out of this game when we met.
Yes.
Like Warcraft was brought up on our first date.
Yes, it was.
As well as some other things that happened. Much longer stories.
Yeah.
But that was brought up, and I was incredibly impressed that Evitel played WoW, and it was like, hey man, yeah, I used to play a lot of WoW, but I don't at the moment. And for 6 whole months, man, in our relationship, Evitel was the WoW player, and I didn't, because I had nothing to play it on. I didn't have a laptop or a PC or anything, because, you know, I need that stuff in my life. And then Evitel went away for Christmas to see her parents back in the US, and came back with a shiny new laptop for me as a present.
Aww.
Brilliant present, but literally the first thing I did was install WoW on it.
Yep.
That's all I did. And then for the next like 3 months, this was maybe 2/3 of the way through Mists, I guess.
Yeah.
And we just leveled through Mists together.
And the rest is history.
It was brilliant.
Yeah.
We actually went on holiday in the February for your birthday to like a log cabin in the woods somewhere.
Yeah, to switch off.
Yeah, to switch off and get away from the world. We spent the entire 4 or 5 days in the log cabin, ordering pizza to the log cabin and just leveling our characters, playing LFR.
It was
brilliant. Oh.
That's brilliant. That's absolutely brilliant. And I just love it, Evitel. You are now, all these guys are listening to this and going, I need a girlfriend or wife like that.
We exist. That's that's such a myth. Women play World of Warcraft. I still get people at my I call it my IRL job when I explain what I do when I'm not at work. They're like, you what? But you play video games? Yep. Yeah, mate.
And I think loads of girls play video games anyway.
Totally.
But I think Blizzard is a particularly friendly environment for a lot of female gamers generally. Maybe compared to some other kind of sort of scenes and things like that. I'm sure more female people play WoW than play Call of Duty. Although I know that's technically Blizzard now as well. But it's
I know women who play Call of Duty, but
you're right, and you're right.
No, I know what you mean though. I feel I think generally Blizzard games are pretty open and inviting to people with all kinds of levels of skill and interest and stuff, and that's also the beauty of Warcraft, I think, where someone can play it literally just to collect battle pets.
Yeah, many people
and
do.
many people do, and I'm not going to do that ever, but I do collect hunter pets, so I'm not really that different.
Worse, because you can't do anything with those. You just at least battle pets is a proper kind of gameplay mode in a way, and you're just look at my hippo.
Yeah,
actually, I am very jealous.
It's a great hippo.
Ridiculous.
There's nothing wrong with the hippo, though. Let's face it.
It's so big; it takes over the whole screen. If you raid with your hippo, that's the raid done. No one can see what's going on.
It makes the most annoying attack noise as well. Everyone hates it. So when I just want to cause some trouble in the raid group, I just summon the hippo.
Hey, that sounds perfect to me. In all honesty, that sounds like fun to me. If you have to, because you guys played several expansions, what are you most impressed with in Battle for Azeroth?
I mean, it's kind of one of the most obvious things, but the storytelling has really been taken up a notch recently. I think between the actual kind of in-game story and the cinematics, I've just really been sucked into it in a way which I to be honest, wasn't really before. Mm-hmm. I felt I could get away with questing without really reading a lot of the quest text, and I take a lot more time with that now, and I feel much more kind of integrated into Azeroth basically, and I love that. And another thing for me is just kind of the general world building and environment. I love the new zones, and I love the music. I won't let myself get carried away with this because I will talk about the music of Warcraft for weeks. But I think it's brilliant this time around. It totally creates this atmosphere and universe that I want to be in. And I'm really, really enjoying that. And I'm really impressed with that.
Yeah, and I think with the storytelling and stuff, it's not just the way it's presented, although that's a big improvement as well. It's still not proper RPG standard in a way, but
it's not great literature.
It never will be that,
right?
but also just the turn of phrase and the way characters speak to each other. There's been a marked improvement in that, but also in the way you can tell there's an arc going on. I know I've got faith that they know where this story is going to end before they started it. And I feel that's a major difference, because obviously I love old school WoW, and I love the expansions that I've played, and I love Metzen. Clearly he's a legend and brilliant, but I made no secret when we started making videos, and I will stick to that now, Metzen was a terrible writer. Couldn't write a story. For everything that he could do, he could create these incredible worlds, and he could have brilliant situations. He would create these, he would be the guy that went, we're going to go to Outland, and this is the Lich King. But the actual kind of characters progressing through that, there's a reason why Illidan and Arthas both have these story arcs which are basically like getting into more and more trouble, and everything they do is to try and get out of that trouble, but it gets them into more trouble. Like, so Illidan is like, okay, I've got to get this bit of the Well of Eternity, and I've got to do this. Oh no, that's all gone wrong, and everyone hates me. Okay, now I've got to get like this skull, and I've got to use it for its magic power. Now I've got to pretend to be friends with the demons because they think that I'm going to do this and that. And like, that's because that's what Metzen was doing.
Yeah.
Like, he had no plan. He was going from one thing to the next and going, okay, I need something else for him to do now. Okay, now he's got to do something else. And that's why both Illidan and Arthas have those kind of... In WoW, he's got a better arc in Warcraft 3 as well. And that's what it always feels like. And I feel like in BFA, I've got a feeling it's going to come around. Maybe I'll be proven completely wrong. Maybe it'll be terrible. Maybe it'll collapse. It'll just be awful. It just feels like more planned.
Yeah.
And more like an actual story rather than just stuff happening.
And in the sense that, like, I feel like I don't know exactly what will happen. And that is the sign of a good story, if I can't predict it.
Yeah, and I want to know as well. It's not like...
like, I don't think that, I don't know what's going to happen, and I think I will be surprised, because I have been surprised so far in some really pleasant ways. And so that to me is like, yes, okay, this is good.
My actual favorite thing about the expansion is obviously Azerite armor.
Well, that's actually... Let's go to that point. What are you slightly disappointed with?
I mean, Azerite armor has obviously been a bit of a mess. It hasn't worked. But, there's been stuff that has been a mess in other expansions. Like, I can happily admit that Azerite armor has kind of failed on its own terms a little bit. But it's not even 8.1 yet. And I kind of refuse to let it ruin the parts of the game that I enjoy. Like, if Azerite armor's rubbish, that doesn't stop me enjoying Rage. It doesn't stop me doing threes with my buddies. It doesn't stop me flying around Tiragard Sound and going, this is like actually genuinely the best zone ever made in the game. It's incredible. It doesn't stop me enjoying the music. It doesn't stop me doing the things I enjoy doing in the game. Like, in the same way that if my tier set was rubbish one tier, and like the bonus it gave me was awful and it didn't stack up, and it made my class not as viable as it should be, that didn't ruin the game for me either. The stuff that ruins the game for me is if like they stop bringing out content at a regular rate, and if they I have no reason to group up with my buddies and to play the game. If they do a shit raid, that's going to ruin the game for me. If they do 6 shit raids in it, or they just like kill raiding, like that will ruin the game for me. But some shitty Azerite armor isn't going to ruin the game for me. So for me, my biggest disappointment has kind of been, in many ways, the sort of community reaction to Azerite armor, because I think it's massively over the top. And like, God, it's rubbish. Yeah, I'm in total agreement of that. But when you have people like going, oh, Ian should be sacked, and like Josh Allen should be sacked, and pretending to be offended when Josh Allen gets a bit sassy.
I know. God bless you. Someone on the internet was sassy towards you.
It was like, some of you are idiots, he said on his personal Twitter or something. And people were like, oh my God. This guy that I've just been sending death threats to called me an idiot. Fuck him. I don't know. We're all grown-ups these days. We don't need shit like that. Yeah. Surely. Anyway, and like speaking as a guy who gets like a lot of feedback from the general public on the internet.
A lot of unsolicited feedback.
Which I'm sure like the Warcraft devs are right now as well.
Yeah.
And like we get feedback which is really nicely written and very civil. Yeah. We also get feedback which is the opposite of that and is very kind of angry and I don't listen to any of the angry feedback at all. I don't take any of it on board, but I quite often like take on board the civil feedback.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm pretty sure that's a natural human reaction. Yeah, and I don't believe that people getting angry with the devs makes any difference. I think that makes them clam up, and I think that makes your voice less likely to be heard. Yeah. Personally. But who cares? What do I know?
I think that's in any form, even if like people who go to work and anything. With anything that you present, if you start yelling and screaming and you don't have good arguments and you start just being insulting to people, you're not going to get anywhere. Whereas if you actually say in a civil way and in a with good arguments why you don't like something or why you think something should be different, then at least people could work with that if they want to. But it's the internet.
Yeah.
People like being anonymous, and you don't see a face, so you can be an asshat if you want to.
Yeah, and like we've got people on our friends list who are like legitimately upset with the whole Azerite armor thing, and who aren't having fun in the game right now, and
yeah, that sucks, and that's
really
fair.
sucks.
Like if it is kind of impeding your enjoyment of the expansion in the game, then that does really suck. But it seems like they're working towards finding a solution. It's not like falling on deaf ears, and I find it funny when with this presumption where people are like, well, Blizz doesn't care. They just want our money, and they they're going to do anything to get it and grab all our cash, and they don't care what we do. It's like, well, you know what? Even if, they do want your money because they're a company, but they are going to try to make the game good for us because that is going to keep people playing. Like it's, seeing the Azerite changes is, it doesn't make me like dance for joy, but I think it's promising, and it's been interesting seeing the conversations that it's raised among people about how they're reacting, whether this will work. And it's, again, this isn't a game that's been like boxed and is coming out and is like a done deal. It evolves and it's iterative. So just like let it happen, dudes.
And that's the great thing about it as well.
It
is always
I love that
well.
about it.
As can be like exemplified by all the talk about Classic and like which patch it's going to be.
Yeah.
And stuff. The Classic could be any number of different. I know we know it's going to be the Drums of War patch now.
We know that.
But like before that was clarified, it's like it could be like 6 different games, that they could try to release and stuff, and that's just how it works. And that's Classic, man. That's the golden age.
Yeah.
I think also the community or the players now have been spoiled a lot with what they've been given in the past. I mean, I don't know if you guys remember, but I remember the days back in vanilla when all of a sudden we got a patch and oh my god, there was rain, and people went insane about that.
Yeah. I can see myself getting excited about that.
Oh yeah.
But no, I totally get what you're saying, and I think there's something I noticed more with our like American part of the community and stuff as well. Is that they
tread carefully, buddy.
Is that they approach it very much more from a kind of a consumer viewpoint than people in Europe. Like the whole kind of flying debate. That's mostly an American thing.
Yeah.
And like a lot of the arguments you get about it are like, well, I pay my sub. I should be entitled to fly. And it's like, you don't get that so much in the European side of the game. Because they don't approach it from like a consumer point of view. Like it's a game, and like clearly it's better if you can't fly all the time from the gameplay point of view. So it's interesting, the different attitudes. And when you've got a worldwide game like that, and obviously the Asian market has its own version of the game, which is kind of completely different. So I think like an example of how you can't possibly please everyone. Not that Azerite armor pleases anyone, but that's not the point.
No, and I think with Azerite armor, it's just, if you're trying to replace something like the class order halls and the artifact weapons, that's a big thing. It's going to fall a little bit flat compared to what comes after that, because it just can't be as epic.
I guess so. But I mean, there's no doubt Azerite it missed the mark. And what it's meant for me is I just don't care about endgame gear progression right now. Like I just don't think about it because it's not something I actually care about. I don't really care about Azerite armor. So for me, my endgame is doing PvP and raiding, but not for the gear. I'm raiding for the progression, and for the fun of raiding. And same with Mythic Plus. I want to push myself and get cool high keys, but not because of the gear aspect. And if I don't care about gear at end level, that's probably bad for an MMO. As it happens, I quite like not caring about gear. But it's a really important part of the game for a lot of people. So.
And I've been kind of like not really fussed about the Azerite armor thing because it's the point you bring up. I've never been, it feels good to get really good gear, and when something amazing drops, you're like, I have won the game.
I love the game.
I won.
Winning the game is awesome.
Oh, thank God. But Yeah, and I think because I'd never, really focused on that. And also, to be perfectly honest, like for me, the worst feeling in World of Warcraft is towards the end of an expansion, when you've kind of gone as far in the raid as you can with your guild group, when you don't really want to pug with like really high level people, when you've kind of done all the content and are just kind of grinding away trying to get better gear. That's kind of my least favorite part. And that's where I get like a little bit of fatigue sometimes. It's like, well, am I going to grind this? I'm going to do that. On the plus side, we have a ton of different things we're going to be able to do in BFA. You can do island expeditions if that's your thing.
Hey,
I don't know if it is,
I've been
but
doing
it could
a
be.
lot of island expeditions. I'm leveling a lot of characters right now.
Yeah, well, there you go.
And they're great for just breaking up the questing thing.
Yeah, and then Mythic Plus is always going to be cool. Like, I think it's great.
Mythic Plus is one of the best things that's ever happened.
I think that really offsets the whole, like, well, I've done the raid, I have finished the game feeling.
Yeah.
To keep that, like, kind of alive and lively. So yeah, it's good. There are things that kind of please different people, and I think it's pretty successful in that way.
And still, do not underestimate the RP potential of Borealis.
Oh yeah,
that place is
that alone makes me want to just level my alliance, and not just because I do like trolling around in Goldshire, but yeah.
So imagine Goldshire, right? But with like loads of sharks hanging from hooks and stuff, and just people wandering around being all like
sexy.
Yeah. People wandering around being all like topless and like, but also big.
Yeah.
And like bear like.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I'm sold. I'm already sold. I think I might have to switch permanently to Alliance now.
It's so great though, that city. It's like, my goodness.
I love it.
Oh wow, it's what a place. I love it.
No, I've been there briefly. I will say, because I do have 114 hunter running around. I just as many people heard, I'm so into the horde settlement because I do like my trolls so much. But I do like Borealis. I think it's absolutely, it makes more sense to me than the troll city does, because I still get lost.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's so confusing.
Well, now we all know that the city was basically designed to be a raid.
Yeah.
The whole makes a bit more sense now.
Yeah.
It's like,
it makes sense to get lost because you can already go like, oh yeah, I lost my corpse. Oh shit, where's the crew? Yeah. I don't know where to go.
I understand why I have to get like a flight path down to where the docks are and stuff like that, and not like a browse where you can just run everywhere.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I can understand that much better now. That's a good point. So you guys wanted to talk about BlizzCon, the predictions and everything. Now you guys have been to BlizzCon in the past, haven't you?
Yeah, we went for the first time last year.
Yeah.
Wow, how was that?
It was magical. Because one, it was like our first BlizzCon. That was obviously really great. And so we met some people that we've been meaning to meet for a while, like other creators and like a million just people just everywhere.
Yeah.
Like hugs, lots of hugs we had,
lots of hugs, lots of like good positive energy at BlizzCon. I mean, that's the thing. Once you get to a place where like you have all these people who share like this community of interest, but you aren't just an anonymous, commenter on YouTube. You're actually a person with like a face and a body walking around. It creates this really, really nice environment, and everyone's just like super hyped. Everyone is hyped. Everyone is having a good time. It was overwhelming. Like, I remember...
I slept for about a week after.
Yeah, it was... and I also got the con flu, which I've learned my lesson. I got the flu shot this year.
Well prepared.
But, yeah, it was really magical. And, like, meeting people that you admire and that means something to you. And then also meeting people who admire you, and just like, it's just this big, I found it like a really big kind of love fest.
It was a particularly hype year as well, because
was,
Legion was coming to an end and everyone loved Legion, and then you had what was a grade A announcement for BFA.
Oh yeah,
in fairness, like with the cinematic and stuff, and
being in the crowd for that was really special.
It was amazing, and we were sitting like right at the front in the middle as well. We had like the best seats in the house, because even though we got up really late and like really kind of chilled out having breakfast and stuff while everyone else was queuing outside, Ro from
And Sharku.
Ro and Sharku.
Yeah.
They saved us seats right at the very front.
It was so sweet. It was, yeah.
And so we
really special.
and we sat there, I was like, oh, Sharku, Ro, and who else was there? Scott Johnson was there, and like Patrick Beja. We couldn't get a seat because we took his seat. We didn't take his seat, but we didn't give him our seat. So we were like, sorry, Patrick Beja, no seat for you. But yeah, it was great, and just all these like amazing podcasters and creators that obviously we're huge fans of.
Yeah.
And they were all like, we saved you a seat. I'm like, what's going on? This is weird.
Have you been?
No, you know what's going to happen? This is going to sound really lame. So my friend Fasha, she actually was doing a competition at her job that she could win tickets, and she went like, okay, if I win, I'm taking you. And I said, yeah, that's great, but it's right like after me and my boyfriend's birthday. I said, I don't know if he's going to be happy with me being out of the country on his birthday. And I actually, that's the sweet thing of my boyfriend. He said, you know what, Sil, if she does win, go, because it will be a chance out of a lifetime. So just go. And yeah, he's a good one. But unfortunately, we didn't win. Two guys in America won. So we already went like, that's set up. That's, fixed.
Yeah.
But no, unfortunately, I can't with a mortgage. I'm afraid.
That is
too poor.
It is super expensive for someone in the UK or the EU, just generally like us. Like, it's prohibitively expensive. We're lucky that because we have like some kind of profile. I mean, this year Blizzard are paying for our flight and our ticket to get out there and cover it as press.
Nice.
Press pass. We're not going on a normal ticket.
Yeah. And that's super lucky.
Oh, we just wouldn't be able to go.
Yeah, it's exactly. It would be way too much.
Yeah, it's impossible.
But in all fairness, and people can call me a kiss house or whatever, I don't care. But you guys totally deserve that, because seeing how much work and effort you put into, everything that you do for the game in that sense, and bringing the game out to people who might have never experienced it, and then see your videos on YouTube. And it's not just, because I know that sometimes you guys are being, what's the English word for it? That people say, oh yeah, but that's because, they love everything that Blizzard does. That's not true, because you guys are quite critical about certain things, but you're also very positive, and there's nothing wrong with being positive. But to come back to it, I think you guys deserve to get something like that as recognition from Blizzard for all that you guys do.
Well, and they know that when we do a video, people will watch it as well. So it's like it's good for them, I guess.
So we did a dev interview last year, and that went down really well. Hopefully we'll do another one. We give them like some good press coverage at the end of the day. But also, it is really great. It feels great, to be honest, to be recognized like that. That really, really rare and special opportunity.
And we can play it cool all we want, and we can try and be like, but that's the thing. Lots of creators our size get those things. I know some creators choose not to take up an invitation to Blizzcon so they can stay at home and make videos, because they'll make more money that way. Yeah. When you're there, it's actually really hard to make videos because videos are hard. Whereas if you're watching and you can just like bring out a video for literally every topic they touch on, you can make money, you can make bank, man. So I can see why people wouldn't do that, but that's not why we do this.
No.
We do this because we enjoy being part of the community. And my goodness, who wouldn't want to go to BlizzCon if someone's offering to take you there? Like, of course you're going to go.
Yeah.
Surely. Like, anyone would. Because it's awesome. it's so good. But it's funny, like, you kind of touched on it there, that thing of, like, we do criticize the game loads. Of course we do. And I feel like people often don't quite get that because we're joking a lot as well.
Yeah.
And because we're smiling.
Yeah, well, that's the thing.
I feel like a lot of people just don't get it, don't get our humor. And that's been the same since day one.
Yeah. Okay, so like here's kind of my personal philosophy about this, if I may. Like at the end of the day, I love World of Warcraft, but at the end of the day, it is just like a bunch of pixels on my computer screen that I move around with my keyboard and my mouse. Like I love what those pixels are sometimes and what they can like make me feel. And I love that I can connect with the people like through those pixels. But at the end of the day, like I love the game. I want it to be really, really good. But I'm going to save like my real anger for other stuff, to be honest. Like, yeah, that's me basically.
Yeah, and I get it. And wow, Alexa has just started playing Arctic Monkeys in our kitchen.
Yeah. Oh my God, we just triggered.
Wow, that's so crazy.
Whoa.
Go and tell Alexa to stop.
Hold on. I have to tell Alexa to stop.
Wow. Well, this is so weird. Has that ever happened? Do you have an Alexa?
No, I don't. And now I'm kind of like scared of getting one.
Sometimes. It's crazy. And like, sometimes we'll just be talking and Alexa will be like,
so
you're such chills, you're such fanboys, why don't you ever criticize? But like, we get people saying that sometimes and they're like, you don't ever criticize Ian and Law. And it's like, we literally dressed up as Ian Law and took the piss out of him at the beginning of this episode.
Yeah.
We put on wigs.
I wear a wig.
Well, yeah.
But like the first time we ever did that was the week before the last BlizzCon.
Yes.
It was the first time we ever dressed up as Ian and Law.
Yes.
And then obviously we met them at BlizzCon. It was like maybe just a tiny bit awkward.
It was really awkward. Because again, you can take the piss, but you can do it out of love, right?
Yeah,
like,
totally. We
it's
wouldn't.
not malicious. It's never going to be malicious.
And I think it's really important that it's not malicious. You never like, I don't know. I might not like Azurite armor, but I still like. I wouldn't want to just mercilessly rip someone apart.
Exactly. I'm not going to make someone feel like shit about it.
Yeah.
You know, like there are other ways to change things. Anyway, yeah. So, how do we get here?
Can't remember now. BlizzCon. Go if you can.
we have a tendency to do that, I think, always when we start talking. With the BlizzCon predictions, what are you hoping for? Are you hoping for another like mic drop moment?
Yeah, and I think there'll definitely be one. I think lots of people, especially with the whole like, you know how the Diablo news has kind of been tempered a little bit because they've come out and gone, oh no, shit, guys, no, sorry, don't be talking about Diablo 4. That's definitely not going to happen. I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry. We got clearly let you think that. That's really bad. And so everyone's a bit like, it's gonna be nothing at this BlizzCon. It's gonna be terrible. It's gonna be awful. And like, it's not a big year. It's not an expansion year, and I feel like it'll be a bit more chilled out because of that. But I know Ian has a Costas, all right?
Oh, yeah.
I know how, like, that man, he might have the face of a puppy who's just been told that, like, all of the tennis balls in the world have run out and there are no more tennis balls. But, like, he is a man who has a sense of drama. And
he does.
I feel he gets a bad rep, Ian, because when people don't like Ian, they're like, well, he's just a lawyer. He just does lawyer speak. It's like, no way, man.
No.
Behind that hangdog exterior, there is, and that cool, measured way of talking, there is a showman. There is a master showman inside Ian Hazakostas.
He is so good at, like, the slow reveal.
Yeah,
like,
he does it.
So good at, not dropping any hints and being like, okay, that's over. But
yeah, he loves it. He loves it so much, and he gets it. You can see it. He gets a little curl on his lips, and he's all excited. Yeah. And you're like, oh, that's cute. He's really excited. And then he's like, oh, and by the way, then we're gonna go to Argus.
And everyone's like,
whoa! It's like so cool. And he loves that so much that I cannot imagine there won't be a moment like that.
Yeah,
like,
I'm with you.
Think about what happened 2 years ago. Like just after Legion had launched, and don't forget, Legion launched 2 or 3 weeks after BFA on this time frame. So Legion had been out for maybe 3 weeks less than BFA has been out at this point. So we hadn't had 7.1 yet. And so actually they spent a bit of time talking about 7.1 at the WoW What's Next panel in 2016. Something that we're not going to be doing with 8.1.
No.
Like I think Jeremy Fiesel put out a tweet saying we won't be talking about 8.1.
That's a really good point.
And I went to try and find that tweet, and it had been deleted. So I don't think they're going to be talking about 8.1 at all. And they did in that WoW What's Next panel. Right. And then he went on to 7.2, and they talked about 7.2 in detail. Because you had like all the stuff about the Broken Shore, which no one knew about before then, and the class mounts. Do you remember when those got revealed? And all that stuff. And then the proper mic drop of Argus right at the very end of that. And I cannot imagine. I think it's about a quarter of an hour shorter the WoW What's Next panel this year than it was last year. But I think all of the panels are a quarter of an hour shorter this year.
Yeah, it looks like that.
Yeah. So he loves it.
Oh, yeah.
And
we'll get something. We'll get a mic drop at the end.
8.1 is on the PTR. 8.1, they're going to maybe give a release date for 8.1.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if there's like a trailer for it. We're going to be making a kind of predictions video as well, but I think we're going to get a Gen Greymane cinematic.
Ooh. Well, definitely a cinematic.
But I think it's going to be like an old soldier style one, like super rendered. And I think it's going to be Gen Greymane.
That is my favorite Gen, by the way. Like the good boy. Like he's so cute.
He looks so happy.
He looks
that bit where he gets rezzed.
When he rezzed? Oh
when Anduin's crying. He's all like da 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 da.
And he was like, I was a good boy.
He is the best boy.
He is the best boy.
So yeah, I think we'll get a cinematic. I think it will be Gen Greymane, and I think it will be like a proper cinematic rather than an in-game rendered one. Maybe we'll get both. Who knows? And I think they will obviously talk about 8.2, which we know nothing about at this point.
No,
like it's kind of under wraps. I think it's unfeasible that they won't talk about 8.2 in like great detail. But I also think they'll talk about 8.3, even if it's just at the very end.
Yeah,
even if it's just
a little mic drop moment.
Even if it's just Ian being like, "Oh yeah."
And another thing.
Like Columbo. Yeah. He's about to leave stage. He's like, one last thing. Nyalotha, bye. So I'm certain.
Do you think we will get allied races?
Yeah, definitely. I think they'll reveal a couple of extra allied races. I think they'd be fools not to at this point.
Yeah.
And I feel like they kind of need them in a way. I know it's such a cheap thing and no one actually really cares about allied races, but it's a great way of getting people talking.
Yeah.
And excited because it's a really visual thing. I remember after the BFA reveal, we talked to a couple of devs and a couple of them were like, I'm surprised people are so hyped about allied races. But that was really easy for creators to kind of grab onto and show in like videos and articles and things like that because they look cool. You know, it's a really easy thing for people to talk about and get hyped about. So yeah, I'm certain. What allied races would you have in there?
Oh, Volpera, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like a given. I would like Sethrak.
Snake people.
Yeah, I think they're pretty cute. I would play one.
You would?
I would play one. I know there are like helm issues, but I think we could get past that.
What? If we work together?
If we work together, we could get past that.
Wow. What are you?
I would be very happy with Volpera, and even Sethrak I think would be really cool. I'm just wondering, because they're quite in like Horde territories, how they would align.
Yeah, and I think Volpera would be quite obviously Horde.
Yeah.
They'd have to be. Because Horde are the only ones that have any contact with them.
Yeah.
But Alliance have had pretty much just about as much contact with Sethrak as the Horde have. Your Alliance war campaign, you hang out with the faithless of the baddies, who are the goodies, the good faction of Sethrak.
The other ones.
Devoted. You hang out with Devoted and you help them out and they let you, set up your camp and stuff. So, we've had as much contact with them as anyone else. And maybe the Sethrak will turn around and go, Horde, you were total dicks the way you released that old god. That was really bad. We're going to totally fight with the Alliance now. Pass me that helm.
Yeah.
I'll put it on my snake head. Be fine.
I think it would be very interesting if they would have just dropped a race on us that we would not expect, like the Kalawak or something.
Yeah, I'd be totally down with that as well. But I'd be so surprised if we didn't get an allied race announcement at BlizzCon. Totally.
I think we will.
Yeah, I think we will. And obviously there'll be a little bit about Classic, and this is what I find really interesting about it is that we had that tweet since deleted maybe, unless I'm just misremembering it, but I'm certain I saw it, that said they won't be talking about 8.1. And obviously 8.1 is on the PTR. We've been talking about that loads already. And we've had 3 Q&As about 8.1 already.
Yeah.
And yet, and more and more information is coming about Classic as well.
Yeah.
There was a dev water cooler post about it this morning. They've talked about it before, and there's not that much to talk about in Classic, really. It's quite interesting to follow their progress, and I love those posts where the devs behind it talk about the mechanics of it and how they make it work and the engine and stuff like that. And I find that really interesting. That's not the kind of thing you talk about at BlizzCon.
No.
And, they've established it's going to be Classic. It's not going to have updated things and what have you. They clarified today it'll have Battle.net integration, which everyone expected.
Yeah.
But apart from that, kind of a bare minimum of sort of integrated stuff, which is exactly what everyone wants. That's perfect. It's got old school graphics on the demo at the moment that people have data mined. I'm sure there will be a switch to turn it onto modern graphics as well, but that's completely optional. So that's not, everyone's going to love that. That's going to be absolutely fine as well. Basically, the only question about Classic now is how you buy it and how you, and whether it's going to be part of your general WoW sub, which I think it should be. I think it should be I think it should just be free to everyone with a WoW sub.
I agree.
So that you have to be subbed, and when you sub, you get the live game and you get Classic as well. But that's pretty much the only thing that needs to be answered about Classic right now. And obviously, when it actually gets released.
Yeah.
And apart from those two things, there's nothing to talk about. WoW.
Well,
so
how far will you be able to progress in Classic?
it's level 60.
That's it.
Yeah. And then in 2 years' time, maybe they'll like introduce the Burning Crusade.
Do you think they would?
I don't think there'll be enough people playing it. I'm not going to shit on Classic because I know it means a lot to a lot of people. I know there is a lot of people that will play it and will love it.
Yeah.
And I will play it
Until they start doing Molten Core with 40 people.
Well, exactly. And like, I'm really looking forward to trying it as a museum piece.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because I want to know what it was like.
Yeah.
I want to see what it was like, and I'm sure I'm going to really enjoy it. But do I have time to play vanilla WoW? No. Ain't no one got time for that. Maybe I do. I'm just going to ruin my life. But I'm much more interested in kind of like the live game at the moment.
Yeah.
I think that's my thinking. And I think it's going to be that thing that I play every now and then, but I'm not going to play it like I play WoW. And I think on the month it goes live, WoW will get its highest ever sub numbers. But that'll die off then. I thought. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe I'm wrong. Who knows?
It's always fluctuating anyway in game, isn't it? You can see it that the numbers go up when something new is announced or that people get behind and then after a while it just simmers down again a bit.
Totally. And I hope it's everything that everyone wants, you know? And I'm sure it will be, to be honest. I'm sure like because Blizzard aren't stupid, they're not going to kind of update it in a way that all the people that want it to fail can kind of go, oh, it failed because this tree had too many polygons.
Right, yeah.
Like, Blizzard aren't going to let themselves, they're not going to open themselves up to that. They're going to give the community exactly what they asked for. They're going to give them classic WoW. And it has to have Battle.net integration because, like, Blizzard games don't work without Battle.net integration. It has to run on a 64-bit client because if it doesn't, loads of people won't be able to run it. You know? Like, so there's stuff like that has to happen. Obviously, it has to be, like, sort of adapted for widescreen because everyone's got widescreen monitors now and it'd be stupid not to.
Yeah.
But apart from that, like, you know, and yeah, sort out lag issues obviously because you would. But yeah, Blizzard they're not gonna have transmog in the game, you know, and they're not gonna do something like that because that would give people an excuse as to why it failed.
Yeah. You have a very good point with that, actually. It's going to be exciting for Blizzcon. You guys have actually made me tempted now to buy the online ticket, because I still haven't really bought the virtual ticket, but now I'm starting to get more and more enthusiastic for it.
Well, I mean, you could buy it, but it'll be on YouTube in like a minute
It's
after.
true.
It's true.
It's very true.
But yeah, it's exciting. I would buy the virtual ticket and I'd watch it live, but that's because I'm that kind of person. I don't know. I like doing stuff like that. I love watching live events on the internet, and like having paid for a ticket for it kind of makes me feel more special. I don't know. I'm the kind of person that will buy a Sky Pass to watch a football match on my computer rather than just getting an illegal stream of it.
Yeah.
I'm that kind of person.
I'm the pirate.
Yeah, yeah, you are. You're terrible.
There's nothing wrong with that. I think I commend you for that.
Evitel was stealing shows.
No, I wasn't. I would never.
We got an email and they were like, we can't have those things. You're stealing shows.
Stop it.
That was Evitel did that.
No, I didn't.
Oh, that's funny. Any other things that you want to predict for BlizzCon, or do we just have to wait patiently until?
I predict very disappointing Diablo news.
I predict some sweet new patches for my backpack because they have some really cool little
Velcro patches.
Yeah, Velcro patches for Velcro backpack they did last year. That is what I predict. Yeah.
I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be a BlizzCon which is pretty low on announcements, really.
Yeah.
And that suits me fine.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm convinced we're going to get something about 8.3, even if it's just like a little sniff, a little taster,
or dare I say, a whisper.
or whisper. Oh,
Ooh, clever. Very clever. I like that one.
yeah. What do you think, Sil? What do you think 8.2 is going to be all about?
8.2. I'm hoping. I'm very much out of the loop with all the news and what is predicted in patches. I don't know if I do it on purpose just to stay away from it, but I'm hoping that we hear a little bit more about who Bon Samdi is working for. All of a sudden that, oh yeah, by the way, just like a name drop, and people are like, what, who, what, and how are they connected? Something like that. I have a suspicion. I'm hoping. I mean, that's what I tweeted to you guys. I'm really hoping that we'll get Rathian back.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, that that bromance can continue.
Yes,
Me too.
please.
What
I
I picked up a black dragon scale on an island expedition. You know how you pick up things like
Yeah.
in your
got
little
one
quests.
of those.
And the quest was go and meet Rathian in Black Rock Spire. And I was like, dude, I usually ignore these things because it's like 100 Azerite power or something. I was like, but I will happily go and meet Rathian in Black Rock Spire. And I flew over there. Have you done it?
I haven't done that. No, I haven't turned it in.
Well, you don't meet Rathian. It's like some orc. And she's like, hi, I work for Rathian. Have you heard of the dragon? And it's like really, all those things that you give in, they're really exciting.
Yeah.
There's a really good Murloc one where they're like, have you heard what's happened to the Murlocs in the sea?
Yes.
And it's like, no, what? And all this, these really tantalizing things. But I thought we were going to get some Rathian then, but he wasn't there.
Dang.
Yeah.
See, that makes me wonder, are we going to get Rathian back maybe at a certain point? Because it's just strange that all of a sudden we don't hear from him for almost, what is it, two of the expansions, really?
Yeah, absolutely. And you feel like he would have quite a lot of interest in everything that's been happening in the last 2 expansions.
Yeah.
Exactly, especially with Old Gods and considering, how his father kind of went cuckoo for that.
Exactly. Right up his alley. You'd have thought he'd love all that.
Exactly.
He did appear in the Chromie scenario in Legion. Which was quite interesting, but nothing of any import. But he was there, which was super interesting.
Yeah, that's something.
Just to prove that he was still there, because he was in the beta for Legion and got taken out of it, because he was Ebonhorn in Legion. That stuff you do in High Mountain.
Yeah,
and the dude is a black dragon. That was Rathian originally. It wasn't a different character. And at some point in the beta, they took him out and put Ebonhorn in
because they're saving him for BFA.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. Makes sense.
It would make sense. I'm totally down for my idea of Rathian now.
What would you have Rathian do when he appeared? I mean, obviously take his shirt off and be all oiled up and stuff, but what else?
For Manduin, come on.
Yeah, totally. Although Manduin likes dwarves. He's made that pretty clear.
That's true.
He loves dwarves. He loves the dwarves are his thing. If you ever want a present for Anduin, if you're going to a house party or something, get him something with dwarves in it. He loves
something with dwarves, or a very short person. That would help too.
He's got a bit of dwarves.
I think, what would I like Rathian to do? I think even if it's something about, fighting against the old gods, or that he's discovered another plane where maybe other dragons are, or a new species of dragons, that would be cool. Because I people know how much I hate the whole dragon things that we had, and not because I don't like the dragons. I just think it was overdone in Cataclysm at a certain point.
It wasn't done very well.
No, and I just started to hate them, and I thought, I don't care about all of you. You can all die now for all I care. And that kind of redeemed itself again in Legion with Ysera.
Yes, that was worth it. It was awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I liked how cheeky Rathian was, and just, he did his own thing. He had his own agenda, and that's what I like about his character. He just has his own plans and he does whatever he wants. He doesn't play by the rules. I think we need more characters like that.
Yeah, he's a very, dare I even say it, morally grey character.
Maybe that's the morally grey that they, refer to.
We need in this. Sil. Tell you what we need a bit more of. Some morally grey characters. That's what we need. Get us more of those.
Exactly.
But you're right about the dragons. My favourite thing in Cataclysm was when the dragons, like, they saved the day and shit, and then they were like, oh, well, we can't have babies anymore. It's like, what? Have you tried?
I know, it felt just so, I don't know, that entire story felt so flat to me. I was like,
you sound incredibly confident about this no baby thing. Mate. Have you tried?
Exactly.
Give it a go.
I know, and I'm still convinced that Jaina is going to pop out an egg. I'm sorry, Taliesin. I really think she's going to pop out an egg.
That would be amazing.
I'd still love her.
Does that mean, do you think she'll pop out an egg and that will mean that we can have like a dragon allied race?
Dragon Jaina?
Oh, you know what? Goldshire is going to rejoice for the half dragons.
I think Goldshire would explode.
Yeah.
I feel like that'd be too much. The sexual energy in that place. I mean, as if it wasn't high enough already. I think it would explode. Yeah, now with void elves and dragons in there. My God.
It sounds like a normal Saturday night in Goldshire. In all honesty.
Saturday night, Tuesday morning.
That's true. So no, I'm hoping that we'll get something like that. That would be really cool. But
I'd be up for a bit of Dragon Isles goodness.
Yeah,
especially if Rathian was involved.
I think we need something like that.
That would be left field, though. I think not many people would be. I think we were expecting his return at some point. I think if Ian turned around and was like, "So 8.2, Rathian," I think that would be a big surprise, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
That'd be a massive surprise.
But a good one.
Yeah. What do you think about Naga? Do you think it'd be all Naga and stuff and like underwater goodness?
I think probably, and as long as they do it better than Vashjir or Vajina or whatever the place was, then it's fine. Because that place made me sick.
I would love it if Ian got up on stage and he was like, "So, we've done Vashjir. In 8.2, I give you Vagina. It's deep. It's wet." And you are gonna love it.
My goodness.
It's something many of you have never seen before. And we're gonna do it feet first.
Oh my God.
We did it.
Oh God, can you imagine that?
I would love it. 8.2, Shadow of Vagina.
I almost think that's what I should call the episode.
Absolutely, but
yes,
then I also
please.
think maybe you want to do other episodes at one point.
Yeah.
I don't think this is the hill you want to die on.
Well, who knows? It would be epic. It would be epic to end on that, in all honesty.
Tides of Vagina. I don't know.
So many
really
opportunities. So many opportunities.
Ian, you know you want it, mate.
That sounds so wrong on so many levels.
Yeah. Well. Oh gosh, I'm all aflutter.
Phew.
Thinking about this brilliant patch. I mean, that would be a mic drop, wouldn't it? In fairness,
Yeah,
That would be the best mic drop ever.
Happening.
no.
You can just be like, "It's called Shadow of the Vagina." See you next year. There's no Q&A. You just have to wait and see. It'd be great. I can't wait. Can't wait for our dev interview. It's going to be fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be so awkward if by any chance he listens to this and he's like, "So."
Well, for what? I don't think we'll be interviewing Ian Hazacostas. Even if we were, I don't think we are now. But
Like, no, cut them.
yes,
Cut them now.
It's like, how did they know about Shadow of the Vagina? Who leaked this? Who leaked Vagina? Massive meeting in Blizz HQ. It's like, we've got a leak. Vagina has leaked. Get to the bottom of this.
Oh, the puns.
I know exactly. You see,
it.
you see.
Excellent.
This would be the best patch ever. I can't wait. People will talk about Shadow of the Vagina for years to come.
I can only dream.
Oh, that would be so epic. Right. I'm looking forward to the Blizzcon now. You guys have really, really made it epic for me. Even if that doesn't happen, I'm still going to think that in my head that at any moment it's going to happen.
In the game. People often ask, what would it take? That's what it would take.
That's what it would take.
Yeah.
Right. Let's go away from BlizzCon for a second.
Are you sure you want to, Sil? Because there is more about Shadow of the Vagina.
I think we have to because,
Yeah, want to see the mounts? They're amazing.
It's true, but we don't want to spoil ourselves with too much vagina, in all honesty.
You're right. You're true.
No.
Don't want to run. Don't want to run it dry. Oh, stop! Still, you're disgusting. Stop it.
I can't help it. I'm Dutch. That's normal. But I'm going to distract you guys. Do you have any good tips for the listeners regarding Battle for Azeroth?
Good tips. I would say do what feels right and don't feel pressured to do everything. Mm-hmm. Like, you don't necessarily want to grind islands to get that extra AP. Then don't do it. Like, don't bother. Like, don't. Oh yeah, that's kind of my like overarching tip. Like, don't feel pressured to like. Don't want to do Mythic Plus? Don't do them. Because unless you're a completionist, and some people are, and that's cool.
I guess you could say that about any expansion as well. It's like just don't, and it's a lot of. It's a way that you don't have to tell a lot of players, but I feel like some players, they feel like it's the way they should be playing the game.
Yeah.
And that can make them unhappy.
Yeah.
And I feel like the players that get the most out of the game, they know how they enjoy it, and that could be mythic raiding, it could be battle pet collecting, and also don't be afraid to just play a bit of Red Dead as well. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's all right, man.
Yeah.
Like,
do other stuff.
The expectations that we have of WoW, that it has to be the only game we play, like for it's 5 a day or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, that's a massive expectation to put on any game.
Yeah.
Like, what other game stands up to that? Like, nothing.
Yeah.
When Spider-Man came out, I played the hell out of that. That's a brilliant game.
You did.
But I've got like 30 hours on it. I'll never play it again, except sometimes when I want to have a little swing through New York or whatever. And WoW is the only game that we expect to be able to come back to day after day for years and years on it. Like,
so don't burn yourself out, basically.
It's cool.
Yeah.
And don't let anyone tell you how you should be enjoying it. And don't let other people tell you that you should be enjoying this thing if you're not. And don't let anyone tell you that you shouldn't be enjoying this thing if you are.
Yeah.
Like, it's cool.
I think those are really, really good tips. And that's the basis for any game, isn't it?
Oh, it's good advice.
Yeah, okay. My advice is just hang out in Borealis as much as you possibly can. That place is the bomb.
Yeah.
That place is amazing. I love it. And do threes, do PvP. I'm loving PvP right now. And do you know what? I never liked PvP, and it scared me, and it was something I had no interest in at all beyond like the random battlegrounds we used to do when we were leveling. And I think with War Mode, which I think is like one of the massive successes of BFA.
I
think War Mode is mint. I think it's exquisite because it made someone like me, who would never play on a PvP server, but I was like, I turned War Mode on day one, and I haven't turned it off once.
Same.
And it's on all my characters.
War Mode is
it.
like thrilling. I love it. I love the feeling of just like stumbling across a ton of hordes, and then you just like spontaneously group up with some alliance folks, and then just like, or just like someone running across the map. I love it. And I thought I was going to hate it. I was really not sold on it when it came out, and I was like, nope, not doing that, not putting myself in that situation. But yeah, I get ganked now and then. Who doesn't? But yeah.
It also gives you so many more spells and abilities to play with as you're kind of going around, and the increased rewards and stuff as well.
Yeah.
But even as much as fighting like other players, I love it when you go to like an Azerite node and there's like some alliance or horde there.
Right.
And instead of fighting, you just like nod at each other or do a little
or
dance
wave.
or something.
Yeah.
And it's like that mutual respect.
Yeah.
And I love that. And also when I'm on my main, I'm a disc priest and no one can tell me. And I love it. Like if a warrior jumps me and starts attacking me, I basically just laugh. It's fantastic. But that has then led me into like genuine competitive PvP. I'm still a scrub. I'm still a noob. I play loads, man. I've played like over 200 like arenas in the weeks, and like I'm 50% the way to my Hippo mount. So hopefully I'll get that done before the end of the season.
Nice.
And I've never, ever got a vicious war mount before. Ever. It's just not a part of the game that I play. So like this whole kind of new avenue of the game has been opening up to me in BFA. And that was War Mode that did that 100%. And like, that's awesome. Like, and if I did it, it's happened to loads of other players. Like, and I think that's great for PvP. Fantastic. And if I was like a PvP hardcore player, I'd be well chuffed about that. The fact that there are now scrubs like me in the mix who they can just destroy whenever they want. I'd be chuffed. So that'll be my advice. Do some PvP. It's awesome.
I agree, but I used to be on an RP PvP server, so for me, war mode is a lot of fun. I can tell you that.
Yeah. I bet you crush some noobs.
I'm a rogue, that tells you the kind of player I am.
And then teabag them.
Yeah, that's standard. That's what you do. You're just a dirty ganker, and then you just teabag them. Yeah. And if you don't manage to kill them, then you just vanish.
Yeah. See ya, sucker. No, it's great, and I'm just really glad that I've got into it this expansion. It's really good fun.
Several things that can happen in game. Have you experienced I'm sure you guys might have experienced this, a WTF moment
in the game?
Yeah.
I've had a lot of WTF moments like in life and outside of the game.
I don't know, maybe you stumbled into Goldshire into a room and you went like, okay, what the hell is this?
Something I've been noticing recently, something that's happened, okay, not like a regular occurrence, but more regular than you'd think, is people G-quitting in the middle of raids.
Ooh. Really?
That happened a couple of times in our guild, and we've got a lovely guild. And
we do have a lovely guild.
A really, really social guild and a really active guild, and we go on like guild holidays and stuff, and we're all like good friends, and it's one of the best things ever, and it's just awesome. And in the last couple of years, like, we've had numerous people G-quit in the middle of raids.
Yeah.
With no explanation. They've just just disappeared. And you're like, oh, wow, okay, well, I guess they didn't like that tactic. Don't know what's going on. So this mysterious case of people G-quitting in raids.
Yeah.
Very strange. And not like, because I G-quit at one point. About a year ago.
That's another story.
We've got a very interesting video on the subject, actually, Evitel. Maybe you should go and watch it.
Maybe I will.
Like, that's a whole different story. But when I G-quit, I waited until the raid had finished. And then I wrote an email to the guild leader. And then I left at night so no one noticed, and I didn't make any drama and stuff like that. And I guess you could say the same about G-quitting in the middle of a raid, but it's still a bit weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know. Would you do that? Would you drop your guild in the middle of a raid, Sil? Would you do that? What's wrong with you?
I would first try to get my guild to wipe during the raid, and then I would G-quit. Or I would ninja loot everything.
And you G-quit. That's what you do. People that leave LFR, and they pull just before they leave.
No, that's really bizarre. Why would you do that during a raid?
And it's happened a couple of times.
Yeah.
And it's been really weird. And I don't know.
Yeah. I feel
we're not great at raiding, are we?
No.
But that's,
But speaking of raids, I feel like I've had some WTF moments just during raid. When just like little things happen. Do you remember back in Legion with like the elevator of death?
Yeah.
Like
in Antorus.
Yeah. Like, stuff like that. There's always something that just, like, pops up in a raid where you're like, huh?
Oh, yeah.
What?
It's the trash around Zool.
Yes, the trash around Zool. We've had some pretty, like, I don't know why. I think it's just a line of sight issue, but just my pet goes mental around Zool.
And just runs in random directions.
Runs and pulls literally all of the trash every time. And
it's like every Hunter meme I've ever seen for the last 10 years, all rolled into one glorious.
Yeah.
And the problem, as I'm sure you see, as anyone who's ever run an LFR, not that we do that in our guild, obviously, but we're not mythic. We do heroic. We aim for curve every tier. Yeah. And when we've got curve, we'll like dip into mythic.
Yeah.
But we're a curve guild, really. But even then, and even when we've got, we had no problems with it on many occasions, it's not even an issue, but every now and then it'll all just go to shit.
It all just goes to shit.
And like once you start wiping to that trash,
and then it's
like
over.
You can't stop.
Like
you're wiping for that trash for about 20 minutes if you start wiping to it. Like the best thing you can all do is just go for a break at that point.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So I'd say the Zool trash, which is, I'm sure, something people will relate to.
Yeah.
And I think it can happen to any level of player as well, because all it takes is one little slip or one little ninja pull, and you're wiping to that shit forever.
Yeah. I was also fooled into thinking that there was an invisible bridge over Mithrax.
No, I was tricked by the whole when we Zool down for the first time. It's like, okay, everyone in the middle for a photo.
Yeah.
I was like, this is odd. We haven't taken a group photo yet so far. What's that? Oh, you must. Yeah, totally fell for that.
Yeah. We're good at trolling each other.
Yeah.
It's out of love.
Maybe that's why people keep secret. In fairness. Now I think about it, I don't really blame them.
And now the mystery is solved.
Yeah, totally.
On the other hand, with the the maybe the old moments in WoW, have you experienced any random acts of kindness in the game, just from total strangers, or do you go out of your way yourself to be extra friendly to people you don't know?
Right now, I feel like anytime someone doesn't try and kill me in war mode, like I genuinely feel like a warm glow of happiness, especially if I'm leveling. Like, and it's a character who's maybe because obviously I play every class for the channel now as much as anything really, but also because like with Legion, you really wanted to play every class because you wanted to do every class hall and you wanted to get every artifact and you wanted to do all the class mounts and shit, and it was awesome. And so I'm kind of, I've kind of got the bug of playing every class now. And so if I'm leveling one that I haven't played in a while, I'm still kind of finding my feet with it and getting it down. And so basically, if I do run into someone in war mode, they can quite easily beat me because I don't really know what I'm doing yet. And there was one particular occasion, actually, quite recently. I was on my balance druid, and I was doing Tiragard Sound, and there's some elite that you have to kill in a very small building, like in a very small room. It's like one of the houses up in the hills or something. And you go up and maybe it was a world quest. Yeah, it must have been a world quest actually. And there was a horde. I think it was a world quest for the horde. I was there on a mission. So it was like 120 horde who was there waiting for it to spawn. And I was waiting for it to spawn as well so I could kill it. And I was like, this guy could just wipe me easily if he wanted. And it spawned and I got the first hit on it, and he helped me kill it.
Aww.
And didn't kill me. And then I was like, to show, how much I liked that and how much I approve of that, I waited for it to respawn and then helped him kill it.
Aww.
That's really nice.
Spoiled slightly by, as we almost killed it the second time for him, another Alliance person came along and just killed him. And there's nothing I could do, obviously. I can't stop this Alliance guy killing you. I'm really sorry. But up until that, and I was just thinking, I was like, look at us getting along. This is brilliant. Look at this. This is humanity happening right now.
Yeah.
This is like, if everyone in the world was like this, there'd be no wars. Oh no, someone else is killing.
Maybe they thought you did help. That actually is one of my favorite things, like that heroic feeling when you're running around and you see someone just like getting kicked, like really, like, they're about to die. They're like 1v1ing someone and you just jump in, save the day. And that is a great feeling.
Yeah. And there's this other time where I was wandering around and I saw this, I was on the Horde and I saw this Alliance Warlock just standing there, and he'd quite clearly like gone AFK, or maybe his computer gone offline by mistake or something. And I thought, well, he doesn't want to be left standing out here. He'd probably much rather be at a graveyard. So I stood there and I killed him. It took me ages. I bloody killed him. And I think he started moving like right at the very end.
Oh, that's not kind.
That was an act of kindness. I did that. No need to thank me, I said to Warlock. He probably didn't understand. But, And then I did a little dance on his corpse just so he knew how happy I was that I'd done my good deed.
Make sure that you hug them after you kill them.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah. And then I was like, hey, man, I got like 2 honor from that. Didn't do it for nothing. So yeah, it's a friendly old place, isn't it, Hazaroth?
Also, speaking of kindness, another thing that our guild, that I've noticed that our guild tends to do is, we'll roll for loot for stuff that people don't want, but then like inevitably, there's always like the person who gets it pretty much always gives it to someone else that wants it. Like,
aww,
so wholesome. It really is. Oh wait, does that not happen to you, Taliesin?
It doesn't happen to me, which is why in the middle of maybe as we start countdown time off the call. And be like, Evitel, where's Taliesin gone? I was like, I don't know, he just left the house.
As long as you don't G-quit in the middle of the raid.
I don't G-quit my marriage. It's fine. I don't M-quit.
M-quit.
We're married, by the way, people who don't know. Sorry.
Oh,
we should
yeah.
probably say that.
Yeah. Yeah. For all the people in the comments are like, he's looking at her really weirdly in this video. I mean, he does. But it's because we're married and it's okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that is a good thing. And again, I just want to congratulate you guys on that, because I was just so happy when I heard that in your videos.
It was cool. It was a really nice wedding.
It was.
It's true what they say, Sil. It's a good day.
Honestly,
can't lie.
Yeah, I can recommend it. Like,
I didn't doubt it, but like, it's definitely true what people say. It's a really good day.
You know what? I will let my boyfriend know, and who knows, he might get inspired.
Good day, mind, and life.
Who knows in the future? Who knows?
Yeah.
So now comes a biggie. What has the Warcraft community meant to you guys?
Ooh.
I mean, it's pretty much everything at the moment. And it informs so much of what the game is to us now.
Mm-hmm.
Not just when we play it, but sort of outside as well, because now it's kind of, with me, certainly it's our work as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like we have so much contact with the community. And, people send us in-game mail, and obviously people say hello to us at BlizzCon and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's thrilling to be kind of, even in a small way, kind of valued in the community. And it feels great because we were never really actively involved in the community before the channel, really. We did our own thing. I think I always treated WoW as a single player game, really, before I started playing with you.
Yeah.
And it was a 2-player game.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I joined our current guild, and they were all such lovely people, and I started raiding, and and that was still relatively since I started playing in Wrath. It was only in the last couple of years that it's become a social game for us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's so true. I mean, I've only literally just officially joined the raid team.
Yeah.
Before that, I would just LFR and Pug. God, no. But it's the community's been really amazing to get to know better and to see all these different sides of it. And being active on Twitter as well, we get to see all the conversation people are having, and I'm always so weirdly proud when I see how diverse and interesting and cool the work community can be. It's full of some really, really amazing creators, but also just players and people who kind of create their own little sub communities, and campaign for things. And I found it especially within the kind of world of video gaming, there are some really amazing positive aspects of it, and that has just rubbed off all over us, frankly.
All over my face.
All over, just everywhere. Positive community vibes. And I think it kind of informs our channel too, and our approach, because that's kind of what we want to capture and convey. You can, even when we're being critical and down on something, we still are immersed in this really great community that we love. So that's been a real game changer.
And I guess because we're in a privileged position where we kind of, just because we speak to so many people in the community now, can kind of cross divides in that way. I think when you're in a sub community, you can believe that that's the only community that exists. And I certainly think we've seen a bit of that recently. Yeah. Even in kind of criticism of the game and stuff.
Totally.
And it's easy to believe that you and your group are the only group that actually plays this game.
Yep.
And it's it's really not. There are so many different, incredibly diverse and varied people playing this game, and loads of them.
Yeah.
So many different groups of people playing this game and enjoying this game in completely different ways. And it's a privilege to be able to kind of take all that in and to see it from kind of a bird's eye view like we do sometimes.
Oh yeah. And then BlizzCon is kind of the icing on the cake in that regard, because actually getting to meet people from those different communities is super brilliant. Hearing stories that people share with us, just from our perspective, knowing that you have some small impact on someone's life somewhere is the most humbling thing, even if it's literally, you know, someone will come up to us and be like, you really made me laugh the other day. Thank you. And you're like, damn, like we did that. And it's because of this game that we play that we make videos about on YouTube. So yeah, it's given us opportunities. Obviously, we wouldn't be thriving or doing what we do if Warcraft didn't have a community.
Yeah, totally.
Right?
And like we were joking about all women like raiding earlier, but that's not unusual. Like I don't think there's any game that has the kind of diverse player base that WoW does.
Yeah.
Because, you know, there are old people playing it who maybe weren't so old when they first started playing it. But like genuine people in there, because like we see our analytics, we know who's watching our videos, and there are people in like their 60s who play this game. There are like people in their like early teens who play this game, and everything in between. And that's like what, and have been for 10 years, and probably will be for the next 10 years. And what else can you say that about?
Exactly.
What an amazing place.
It's very special.
Oh, that's a really, really, really beautiful message. I like that. Now comes a bit of the weird one, and we've already touched on it slightly. What would be your whisper? So whisper can be anything, you know, what you would like to happen, or a bit of fairy crafting, or anything that you want to get off your chest.
Shadow of the Vagina.
That's what I
I think we're decided on that now.
Yeah.
I think we're decided on Shadow of the Vagina.
Yeah. Can it be Shadows of the Vagina?
Wow, that raises more questions than it answers.
I think it's a 5 o'clock shadow.
Okay. Oh, wow. You answered the questions that it raised. There we go. Wow.
Yeah.
This whisper's turned this gone further than I ever dreamed. Actually, I'm in two minds. I think Fury of the Vagina is going to be
That, wow. Revenge of the Vagina, okay.
Secrets of the Vagina.
Secrets is good.
I think lots of people would relate to that.
Yeah. What about Whispers?
Whispers of the Vagina. No. Exclamation of the Vagina.
You mean Whiskers of the Vagina? Oh.
But like without even having an actual whisper, I want to see some old god stuff going on.
Me
I want to see
too.
some
I'm ready.
proper whispers
I'm ready.
happening.
Yeah.
I want to see some proper Lovecraft shit going on.
Yeah.
And I believe that we have the right team to do it.
Yeah.
I think they can make it work.
And like graphically, I want to see the world, you know, this kind of Lovecraftian world come to life. Yeah. You know, I believe they can do it.
So I guess my whisper would be prepared.
Yeah.
Shadow.
It would be, you know, that got me thinking. Who knows? Maybe we'll get an announcement of an old god that we don't even know about.
Right?
Rise of the Vagina Empire. No? Sorry.
Yeah, not so much.
I get really weird images with that in my head.
Yeah, I can't quite wrap my head around that one.
But no, actually still new unexpected old god. Bring that shit on.
That would be a bit like a mic drop moment, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but better.
Oh, I hope so. I hope so. We will see. So, you guys, thank you so much, because I've taken a lot of time from your evening.
No, this has been great.
Yeah, just chilling out with some friends, isn't it?
Hey.
Absolutely. And thank you so much. Like, it's been a blast. What was it, about 2 years ago? And it's been even better now.
Oh, I don't know. Last good.
It's true, but I think it's even better now.
Yeah. Oh, we were saying, like, because that was the start of everything for us, really.
Yeah.
It was the first thing we ever did sort of outside our channel was being on your show.
Mm-hmm.
And we were no ones. And this is like kind of a really good sort of example of how great the community is. You know, you were just like, yeah, man, that's a funny video. Come on the show. Do that. You know?
But it's like, I was just so surprised that you guys emailed me, because, you know, it's very difficult to get people to actually go, yeah, I want to be on the podcast, because a lot of people are very shy about it. But I love that you guys did it.
We waited a week because we were about to hit 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. And I was like, I'll wait till we have 1,000 subscribers, and then I'll tell her that we want to be on the show. But we've got 1,000 subscribers because we're legit now.
Yeah.
And genuinely, I was like, look, you can't argue with that.
Yeah.
1,000 subscribers, that's legit. That
Can't
is.
turn us down.
That's legit. Who would turn that down? So yeah, I kind of see that as like the start of everything.
Oh, well, no, in all fairness, I just thought it was lovely having you guys on. And again, I've really enjoyed talking to you, and just to see how you guys have just grown, and also your channel has just grown. And I mean, the editing skills of the videos and the acting, I absolutely love it. I think you really guys have just found your unique niche, really, and you've done it brilliantly.
That's very nice of you to say. And we're glad you're back making shows as well. Because actually, you say we're on the show, but this is actually a different show to the one we were on.
Yeah.
That's true. I'm very tempted to dig out that old interview, because I still have it somewhere.
Kept that for posterity. Posterity.
Posterity.
Posterity. I knew I was saying it wrong.
You found it.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe in the future.
Just think, if we hadn't gone on Battle Chat, we'd never have gone on holiday with the Blue Recluse guys.
Exactly.
I say go on holiday. They went on holiday. and we found out that they were on holiday in the same place, and we basically just crashed their holiday.
We crashed their villa.
We're on holiday in the same place as you. We're coming over. So sorry about that.
I really feel if you come to the southwest, if you come towards Devon, we need to meet up.
Yeah,
For sure.
absolutely. And likewise, if you're in London.
Totally.
Absolutely. I'll hold you to that. You might be scared of that.
No, I love it.
Perfect. If people not want to meet you in real life, but if they want to meet you on the internet, where can they find you?
So we are on YouTube. Search Taliesin and Evitel. Taliesin like Taliesin Jaff, and Evitel like it's just a made up word.
You'll cope. It's probably in the title of this podcast.
Exactly.
You'll find it.
Copy paste. We're on YouTube. We're on Twitter. Twitter/Taliesin Evitel. We are technically on Twitch.
Yeah, we did a Twitch once.
Is that how you say it? You do a Twitch?
I'm going to say it. I think we've exposed ourselves as not really being on Twitch. There.
Yeah, we've streamed a couple times, but don't count on finding
it's
us there.
hard work, that is, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, and that's basically it.
Yeah.
So yeah, come join us. It'll be fun.
Absolutely. And you know, the YouTube is, I think even if you just start with the channel, check out all the videos, because they are so worth it.
And if you've got a BlizzCon virtual ticket, look out for us in the front row.
Yeah, we did that competition last time with our guild. I think whoever spotted us in like the crowd shots first got like some of gold.
Yeah, we'll be the ones, because obviously this is a podcast, you don't know what we look like, but we'll be the ones just looking incredibly happy to be there.
Yes.
You know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to look out for you guys now. Thank you so much for the interview, guys.
Oh,
thank you. Until next time.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Oh, thanks for having us. It was really good to chat. Even though we did talk about vaginas a lot.
We did talk about a lot of vagina. Well, we talked about one vagina.
Well, just one.
Rather than like multiple vaginas.
True, but you know what? I think it actually enriched the whole experience.
That's what she said.
So I hope you enjoyed that interview. Despite some of the sound glitches, I hope it was still, listenable. But yeah, I'm hoping that you guys can give me the solution for this, and I can run my PC again, because the last thing I want to do is bring it to a shop and not have it in my possession for a long time. But if need be, so be it. But maybe you guys have like a really simple solution. So I'll patiently wait for that. Anyhow, so the topic of the week was the BlizzCon predictions, as me and Evitel and Taliesin talked about. So what did you guys, predict about BlizzCon? What are your wishes? Any panels you want to see? Are you going? Things like that. Have you bought a virtual ticket? So this is what you guys replied on Twitter. Tyler said, my predictions will be tame this year. I feel like a lot will be around recapping the WoW Classic development and patch 8.3, 8.2. My dream would be a new allied race, or 4. Hopefully the Diablo news will be big and announce Diablo 4, but I doubt it. That would be really cool. To get another Diablo out there, once my PC is fixed, I would be completely down to play that, because I do love the Diablo games, but for me it doesn't have a lot of replay value, if that makes sense. I see it as a single player thing. I don't want to redo everything and get bounties or whatever it is. That doesn't appeal to me. It's the story, as always. So yeah, I'm looking forward to all of that. Kristen said, I think we will get info about patch 8.2 and the rest of the patches this expansion. I feel like it would be a light WoW news BlizzCon, but I look forward to being surprised. You and me both, Kristen. I think I would like to have a little bit of a mic drop moment there about World of Warcraft, and maybe they will surprise us. And I know it's really soon, but if they could already give a hint about the new expansion that might come, even though I think that will probably happen next year, not really this year. Jordan said, obviously a ton of info about 8.2 and a major mic drop moment about 8.3. Classic WoW info, but nothing that huge. New Diablo content. You guys really think that there's going to be a lot about Diablo, and I really do hope that you're right, because I do think that game really deserves more, because it was kind of piss poor last time. Ash said, I'm going, and as always the best part is reuniting with all my friends that I've come to know and love over the years. This is year 6 in a row and 8 overall for me. I am so jealous. Honestly, I hope you have the best of times. That's so cool. Michael Height said, just excited to feel virtually connected, and of course WoW reveals. At Snacksaroff is going to try to stay connected by coming up with 3 recipes for Tuesday and try to throw some fun food ideas out there. Throw at the CouchCon, including food deals, in case you feel like ordering in. I like that CouchCon. I am so going to steal that from you, because that sounds really, really cool. I checked out the Snacksaroff, and I'm just going to drop it out there for you guys. It's a snack-sized Blizzard and Warcraft cooking podcast. So real light food buffs for your gaming sessions. I like this. So I am going to download this and see if I can make some really nice snacks for when I am finally able to game again. Or, when you just have movie sessions, that would work, I guess. And finally, Gran Negus said, Diablo 4 maybe? Details on 8.1 and first look at content in 8.2, including the cinematic of 8.1. Classic WoW details. You know what? The cinematic of 8.1. And like Taliesin and Evitel said, maybe we'll get a good boy video. That I'm really looking for. I never really thought about the fact that we would get a cinematic. So that's something to look forward to. I'll definitely be looking forward to that. And I saw that you are on your way to BlizzCon. So again, Grand Negus, also to you, have a wonderful time and a safe journey. And I'm starting to get a little bit excited now. I am debating getting the virtual ticket, but again, I don't know what to watch it on, because if my computer has to go out to get fixed, maybe then I don't know. I don't know what to do. Again, I'm banking on you guys. What I can say about my time in WoW, not much. But I have decided to roll a baby warlock, void elf. I ran a little poll on my private account. I say private, it's just my own account on Twitter. And I said, okay, I want to roll a baby warlock. What am I playing? Am I going to make a human female, a worgen male, a worgen female, or a female void elf? And people voted en masse for either female worgen or the female void elf, and the female void elf won. So I rolled. I've already rolled her. I tried to, with all the lag when it had a moment oh my god, it works. I created her, and then after 5 minutes of logging in, that was it. I couldn't do anything. So I'm just going to keep on trying and fiddling with settings and seeing if I can do anything and seeing if I can update anything. But so far, it's no joy, unfortunately. So I'm kind of bummed out about it. But hopefully one of you will have the answer. I want to wish everyone an amazing BlizzCon, if I don't see you anymore. Or hear from you, of course, on Twitter. Have an amazing BlizzCon. Have a safe journey. Enjoy yourselves and give everyone that you might know a hug from me. And I'm really curious about all your stories afterwards. So if you can tweet me about how you're finding BlizzCon if you're there, or how you found BlizzCon afterwards, let me know. Those were really interesting stories. I would love to hear everything. So get everyone who is doing the CouchCon to enjoy the whole fact of you guys being there or have been there and just make us part of it. So yeah, I think that would be cool. Anyhow, if you guys want to contact me, you can do that on Twitter, of course, at whispers_of_war. Or you can email the show, whispersofwarpodcast@gmail.com. And of course, you can find everything on whispersofwar.podbean.com. And again, community, you are my only hope. So I'm hoping before I send this little beastie of mine off to the PC doctor, I hope that you guys have the golden tip. And that's it. Have a wonderful time in Azeroth, guys. And in Anaheim. Have a wonderful time, guys. Bye.